All right, welcome everybody. This is Mark with Viva Virtus, and that means in Latin, loosely translated, to live with strength. This is my podcast, and the name of the podcast, the title is Real People, Real Stories, and Real Strength. And today, I definitely have a guy here that I consider a good friend and has a life that to me exhibits true strength, and that's Mark Hill. Hey, Mark.
Good morning, Bakewell. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm excited to share a little bit of my story and the reality of what's gone on through my life and how God's worked through me.
Nice. So tell us about, that's a great way to kick it off. Tell us about, some of how you grew up, where you kind of brought you to where you are today.
Yeah. So I was very blessed in this day and age, having an incredible father and a mother that pour into you. I know that is not something that everyone has, not something that everybody's blessed with. For me, I did grow up in a Christian home. I was dedicated a few days after I was born by both my parents. Grew up in middle of the United States, ranging from Kansas to Missouri, and now I live in Oklahoma, and just had a wonderful life, if you will, no pun intended there. But through that, we did have some challenges. I grew up with a mother that was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after my birth. We learned a lot of things very early on, my brother and I, and through that realized just the power of leadership from my father, from my mother as well, and really just the emphasis of Christ in your life, and the factor that that's where true strength comes from. And that at our weakest moments, that's where God shows his strength and where he steps in. So grew up, had a great childhood, a lot of opportunities to learn, grew up quickly, obviously with some of those factors coming up between my mother. My father was an accountant. He provided very well for us, led us very well, coming from a home where he didn't exactly see that story of a godly father, and for him, he was a chain breaker in that way, and he stepped up in amazing ways, sought out great spiritual fathers as he was growing up, and then poured into myself and my brother greatly. We knew the importance of getting into church, being around believers, and the importance of that. And for me, that story really comes out as knowing who God was, and at some point, I would say around sixth grade, really understanding the relationship with God and understanding the power of that, and just kind of being confused because there wasn't a whole lot of knowledge base to back that up. Through some challenges through high school, and also through the years at the age of 14, we lost my mother. That was a unique time. Obviously, no one expects their mother to pass at such an early age, and something that I learned that strength doesn't come from bottling it up and storing it all inside. That my father was actually the one who was leading me to, hey, have conversations about this, seek out counsel. That counseling and mental coaching is as important as the physical side. So sure. I grew up with great examples, great opportunities, and then continued on. I loved athletics, mainly from the team bond, from the brotherhood that came out of that, and the camaraderie, and the factor of we get stronger together as a unit as opposed to singularly. And we also see that through the word. So I was blessed to really grind it out and work very hard. I'm built with a great frame, being 6'6". I was running about 250 in high school. I had the opportunity to earn a scholarship to the University of Missouri. Was very blessed in that way that that coaching staff gave me a chance, and was able to go on and have a great career, and a lot of opportunities that without great leaders like my father, like my mother, and those folks that poured into me, that basically said, hey, do you want to step up and take the chance to run with the big dogs, or do you want to worry about the factor of, hey, I wish I would have done that? Do you want to say, oh man, I wish I would have taken that step and gone for it? So blessed with a great career. Met my bride in college. We were both went through the injury battles throughout college. We're both medically retired from our sports. My wife was a gymnast. I was a football player, and we actually met through FCA. That's Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and through Fellowship of Christian Athletes and the training room, if you will. So we've had some fun, we've had some struggles, and then my bride is from Oklahoma, so I'd follow her anywhere she wanted to go. So we came back to be near her family in a season where her father was battling late stages of cancer, and we got to spend our last bit of time with him before we lost him shortly before we got engaged and married. So I'm very blessed. I have a beautiful bride, my partner in life, my best friend, and then we've been blessed with two beautiful kiddos. We've got a 5-year-old, or almost 5, excuse me. His birthday's soon. He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah,
and then,
he's amazing.
He's a blast. He's a lot of fun. And then prettiest little princess in the world. Oh my gosh, our little girl. She just turned 3, and she will light up your world. And that smile will get me to do just about anything.
Yeah.
Whenever she says "Daddy," it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Very cool. Well, listen, that was a great little catch up to where you are today. And you mentioned a few, times, challenging times. If you were to isolate one of those times, those challenging times, and say, wow, this probably was a huge defining moment in my life, and talk about that if you can, and then how you made it through.
Sir, that's it's a big question.
I know.
A lot of pieces. Yeah. As many can attest, we all face challenges. We all have a hard life. We all have things that we come across, and we all experience different things. And for me, I truly believe that that's used as an opportunity to expand the kingdom and share our stories, and how the trials and tribulations I go through, they're not always for me. They're to share with others that are going through those times as well. And for me, the big piece that stands out, and the piece I thought about as we talked about this discussion, was the end of my college career. I grew up where, hey, if I put my head down, I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to basically overcome all the judgments and the limitations that other people put on me. I'm going to outwork others. And through that, I earned a lot. And the thing was, I did it all on my own. It was very lonely. It was a time to where I was focused on me. And throughout even though I'm the kind of guy who have lots of friends, lots of people I know, my redshirt sophomore year of college, so it'd be my 3rd year of college, I'd been through an Achilles surgery right before I went to college, missed my first year, played my 2nd year, and then blew up my knee that summer, recovered from that, and was about to the point of getting to play. And was traveling, running with the team, just overcoming obstacle after obstacle. And then literally I got to have my first and final start of my college career was against the University of Kansas. I played at University of Missouri, and got to play that game. It was, I truly believe it was a blessing in disguise that just got to have the joy of uniting with my team. And then leading up to that, we found out that I had a major blood clot in my shoulder, and a lot of, long story short, a couple major surgeries, a lot of time in the hospital, and a lot of trips back and forth for follow-up visits and complications and things like that. And it was a time where I felt like, God, why am I so close to my goals, and I feel like I'm just getting beat down again? God, why does it feel like I get so close to being the best at something, and then I feel like my knees get cut out from under me, or my ankles, or my shoulders, for lack of a better term?
You had all the different parts,
Oh man, all different pieces and parts. And hey, God, I keep overcoming these things. What is going on? And really, what it opened my eyes up to with the 12.5-hour surgery that was supposed to be 7.5, with a follow-up surgery 4 days later. That led to some complications, 10 days in the hospital. And this is all in my junior year of college, the middle of it. January, a semester starts, as I've got basically a year left of school. Going, God, what is going on? Why can't I fight through this? And he said, why are you trying to fight through it? Why are you trying to carry this burden all on your own? It's not like in your weakest, that's where you allow me for my strength to take over. And it reminds me of a verse, 1 Chronicles 16:11. NLT version says, search for the Lord and for his strength, continually seek him. And for me, that's what I found out. I was seeking myself instead of God. And, I was 300 pounds. I was lifting weights heavier than I ever had in my life. I was hang cleaning upwards of 400 pounds. I was squatting close to 6 post knee surgery. I mean, there were just a lot of things that, hey, it's for me and my pride. Hey, I did this. I overcame this. I worked through it. And for me, what I found out is that in my weakest, it allows God to shine and be the strongest in my life. And those things that I'm going to do it. That's where I found out that it was one of those big struggles that ultimately ended my career. And then having to look back now, it's easy to see, like, I wouldn't have ever stopped. I would have kept chasing that dream. I would have worked for practice squads and worked for the league and doing those types of things. And it's a blessing in disguise now that it stopped me from destroying my body anymore. Just for the things I put it through and the things I continue to do. And I was blessed with people that helped me put it back together.
Nice.
It showed me ultimately the opportunity to let go of something that I was rooted in, and to use that glory for God and not myself. And the blessings that came from with Tara, with our relationship that expanded through communication, through our marriage, and through the blessings of where we've landed and the steps. A lot of that ties back to, at the hardest times of my life, it was also the most joy-filled times of my life, because I wasn't focused on the struggle. I was focused on my Creator and my Savior in that way.
Yeah, that's a great place to be. And it's true that, we definitely, I know from my life as well, you learn, although it doesn't feel good when you're going through it, you can look back and say we learn a lot more from our challenges, struggles, and failures than we do our successes. And I think certainly in those times we're driven back to our source, right, for our strength, which you said, which is great. So if you could give advice now, knowing what you know now in your life, and you went through struggles in your life back in the day, and you could give some advice, if you were a guy and you ran into maybe the Mark Hill when you were, whatever age you want to say, 18, 19, what would you tell him? What would you say to try to make it a little easier for him, having the wisdom you have now?
Oh man, that's first thing that comes to mind is don't do it alone.
Yeah.
Seek others. You don't know it all. And learn what pride really is, because as you try to go it alone, you're going to realize that it's so much harder to do it all on your own. As you look at Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Seek others out, listen, and we're not made to go it alone. We aren't.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, good advice. Were you it sounds like your whole personality, you're an extrovert. So even when you were younger, you were always around people. You always enjoyed that. You mentioned that many times. So yeah.
For me, and looking at that, I was always surrounded by people. And for me, throughout my life, it's been opportunities to where my dad taught me this, hey, out of stature, whenever you're 6'6", you're the tallest, the biggest guy in the room. Yeah. And I'm not the biggest in my family. My dad's actually 6'8", my brother's 7 feet. So
he's taller, but you're bigger, I think. I don't know if he's ever bigger than you, but you make me feel small, and I don't feel small next to a lot of people. But
But I've always been that one where, my wife gives me a hard time. She's the polar opposite, and I'm so thankful.
You guys are funny together. We'll have to put up some pictures. You guys look cool together.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. for me, I've been the one where I walk in the grocery store and I know the ladies at the registers by name. I'm on an airplane and we joke about, okay, how many people are we gonna see that we know on vacation, or how many friends is Mark gonna come away with, or weddings he's gonna be in. It's just one of those things that's fun. And what I learned is that as I poured into others and I learned about others, it was a way to kind of hide from myself, if you will. Through leadership. Bakewell, that's actually where we met. We were leading a life group, and what I learned through our time together was we need to lead together, and that's where you and I linked arms, and you helped us and helped our marriage and helped our group a lot in that way. And
thanks.
That's definitely a piece that I've learned from, is that it takes true strength to share those, to be vulnerable, to be transparent, and as many men have learned, hey, we got to bottle it up, we got to not talk about it. No, you
that's
bottle
a disaster,
it up, you're
right?
Explode. I mean, I learned that, hey, it's being strong isn't hey, keeping it all in. Being strong is saying, hey, I'm broken, I need help. It's shedding those tears, it's working through those situations with wise counsel, with the right people, and really asking the Holy Spirit to put those people on your heart, both that you can mentor yourself as well as those that you need to mentor, you need, so to put those people on your heart that you're meant to lead and mentor, and then vice versa, those that are going to pour into your life. And then also on the third level is those people that you're going to do life with side by side, that are in that same season that you're battling together. And to me, it's you got to strengthen each other through unity. And it's amazing for me to see how people that are so different from me are the ones I connect so well with. And it's been fun to see how God's orchestrated that through serving the youth. And man, I thought I'd be with all the athletes. I thought we'd be talking about football, lifting weights. And God's like, I got another plan. You're going to be in the group with the guys that love superheroes and video games, and they have a hard time connecting with lots of people and uniting. And what I've found is, okay, God is allowing me to use my gifts, talents, abilities that He's instilled in me to pour into somebody else that struggles with those things.
That's great.
It's like, oh God, I never thought of it that way. I thought I was going to be with guys that I could strengthen, that were already strong in these areas. And it's been pretty cool to kind of see that cycle in my short life. I mean, being 32 years old, it's been fun. And to me, I'm only getting started on that side too. So there's a lot to come. There's a lot to learn. And by no means do I believe I know much. I'm just skimming the surface right now.
Well, listen, you always have been an inspiration to me, a good friend in a lot of ways, and how you really do, because I'm envious of how you are so, you love being out there, you love being with people, and it's really, for you, I can tell it's not an act, you know what I mean? You're genuinely loving to be around people, and I gotta tell you, that's not me. So I'm like, man, I wish I had more of that in me, but you're helping me by being a good example. I'll say that.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about, I appreciate your kind words and your friendship and all these things. And it's interesting, over the past year and a half, I actually, seeing that I battled through a time of anxiety and depression. I had about 18 months to 2 years of time where the guy who was so outward and so connected with others was fighting through a season where what value am I bringing, and really being caught up in the factors of, hey, the guy that looks like he's got it all together, the guy that has all these friends,
an imposter really syndrome, right?
Yes, exactly. And on the inside, I'm just feeling worthless and broken. So and really how God had to break me down to that point of saying, hey, you're not the one that can get yourself out of this. And it's funny how it goes back to that same story of that finding strength through Him and through seeking Him. And what He taught me through that is that I gain energy from being around people. Well, I mean, that's what extroverts do typically. Introverts, it sucks all the energy out of them. For me, I'm a connector, and something He's laid on my heart is I'm a servant leader with a gift of connecting people. And for me, it's something that that fuels and drives. And it's funny to also see how my kids are even that way. When we go through the grocery store once again, my daughter's looking up at people and saying, "Hi, what's your name?" And as they walk by, and she's in the cart. So it's
that's
something
funny.
You're
funny. Giving them some good character traits.
Yeah, my wife is an introvert, which she loves coming alongside me. She loves being a part of it. It's something that we're opposite in that way. Where
Make
she's
a good
also
team.
The one
You do.
Yeah. She's saying, "Hey, Mark, it's time to go. It's time to head out." And then
that's funny.
Like, "Man, I thought out of our two kids, we get at least one that was a little bit more like me." And I said, "Hey, now you got triple blessed with
that's so funny.
Like
that's
me."
So funny.
So
hey, man,
funny.
Very funny. Well, listen, we're kind of coming to the end here, and so just a couple more things we'll talk about. But what do you do? What is Mark Hill? What do you do? And what do you recommend? What would you recommend for others? For there's two different things I'll ask you. One is, what do you do to stay strong in your body, mind, and spirit? And then what are you careful of? What's that kryptonite for you that would make you weak or body, mind, or spirit?
Those are amazing questions. So I'm going to flip that order if you're okay with that. I'd rather
any way you want to do it.
With the strength. So for me, it's the eyes and the ears. What am I consuming that's going to affect my mind and my spirit that are either going to go self-centered or to areas that I don't need to be drawn to. Ways where I protect what's going on in my ears, from the music I listen to the amount of social media I consume, the people I follow, to the things I'm involved with, to even the people I surround myself with. That's a big thing, because good in, you get good out. And whenever you're putting negative and toxic in, it will start coming back out. And that's something for me that, one small step in the wrong direction, it can lead to the second. And for me, the second piece of that question, or the first part of the question, excuse me, was where do I stay strong? For me, it's my mornings. We talked about it right before we started this call. Yeah. My morning is sacred to me. I get up. It's time talking to the Lord. It's time in the Word, and through that, for me, what I've learned is I incorporate movement with learning. So for me, I'm in the gym, and it's not the factor of saying, "Hey, I'm going to go lift 1,000 pounds or leg press 1,000 pounds" anymore. It's the fact of, hey, I need to get up, I need to pray, I need to go be active, and I need to be connected with God while I'm doing those things. So for me, that's where my morning's important. And the day's not the same. The connection to that relationship that's more important than any other, to God, that's where it begins. And for me, those are two crucial pieces. And the third is being surrounded by a selected group that we're building each other up, and we're challenging each other, we're holding each other accountable. And through my family, through my selected friendships, and through the folks I call brothers in life as well. So those are the pieces that really
nice.
I'm on guard for, and then I'm also on guard with others for as well.
Yeah, very good wisdom. Very, very solid. So I can see your and yeah, I think you've probably found your perfect career with your personality. I can see your banner there. So what does the future hold for Mark Hill?
So what the future holds for where God's guiding us, obviously He's got the ultimate plan. For us, what we're seeing is we stepped out and built a business through Hill Property Network here earlier this year. We've been in real estate for several years. My wife and I had been. My wife ran our business for the previous couple of years, and doubled it. Did amazing work, and we were just blessed by so many people that trusted us with their homes, with their lives, with their real estate and their property, if you will. So with the next couple of years, what the future holds for us, we've got big dreams, goals, and aspirations, really to help one family at a time. Every number is a family for us, and it's a story. And we've got dreams of helping others step into this industry that can help people with one of the biggest investments many will make in their entire life. And for us, helping guide them, teach them, and for us to build a team that expands out far greater than ourselves, and create a legacy that we can pass down to our children, and then that the people that are involved with us can also carry down to their children, and so on and so forth. And it's biblical. It's what we're called to do in that way, and really to bless others through that. And it's been a blast. We've been connected with Keller Williams Realty Premier, that's out of Owasso, Oklahoma, and within Keller Williams on International. Whenever you hear a core value of God, family, business, that's something I can get behind, and that's something we can back as we unite our business into their brokerage, and really have the backing and the strength behind that. So my wife and I work together as a team. Our kiddos are also part of that. As anybody that's self-employed understands, anybody that works at all, you know that your kids are also part of that.
Right.
Your bride and husband, however that works out, depending upon who's listening. It's going to be a fun ride. We're excited to see where God's taking us and how He's already blessed us and put us to work for glorifying Him through it.
Nice. Excellent. Listen, man, I appreciate you making some time. I know you've got a super busy schedule. We're recording this super early because you got a busy day ahead of you, and I appreciate you carving out some time. It means a lot. You're a good friend. You're an inspiration to me, and I think you're a great example of what a Christian man should be like today. There's not a whole lot of those around. So, I so appreciate that. And well, thanks again. And this is, Mark from Beaver Road Twos. And I always say the life clock is ticking. Go live with strength. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.